So I got this strainer to add on to our pool. So we're going to take a look at that and see what's involved in setting it up. It obviously is going to attach to one of the two intakes. So the hardest part of this whole project, I think, is going to be figuring out if we can get this cover off here and then see what kind of adapters came with it. So hopefully I can take that cover off without damaging anything that exists. The last thing I want to do is ruin what we already have. It looks like there's a tab, but I'm not quite sure how this all went together. Last thing I want to do is poke a hole in the plastic liner. At this point in time, I was trying to push in the tab that the screwdriver is touching so I could pop the lid off over the top of it, but it didn't actually work. I wonder if I get a block of wood and try to pry with that. So I picked up a bunch of different sizes of blocks of wood, so we'll see if any of these are going to help us. Okay, I can see right now I'm going to need something more this thickness, so let's go do some more digging. So I found a couple more blocks of wood, but I couldn't find anything the right thickness. But these are thin enough I might be able to put between the screwdriver and the side. Here I'm actually trying to push the tab in with the small screwdriver and pry with the large screwdriver. Here the small screwdriver slips off, and lucky I didn't poke the liner. Guess I'll go try to get one of my little hooks and see if I can get that in between the two pieces of plastic without breaking the metal hook. So I was able to find this tool here, so let's see if we can make that work. I'm supporting the inlet tube with my left hand while trying to pry with the tool with my right hand. Working the tab with the little screwdriver while applying pressure with the black tool. I almost got it here. Trying to turn it past the tab here. Trying to be careful and not break my orange pick tool. Another slip. If I'm not careful, I'm going to poke a hole in the liner. Of course, I dropped my tool. We'll see if we can get that out. Got 3 tools going here. Well, I hope that was on camera. It took a long time to get to that point, so we'll see what the next step is. Basically, now that I see this, I thought there were tabs here, but they're not tabs. Looks like it's screwed on. So, hopefully the next guy that does this remembers to just unscrew it. Of course, now that I got it this far, looks like the whole thing has to come out anyway. Yep, just screws right on. Alright. That figures. So the next step is we got two pieces that came with it here. This adapter and then this guy here. So, don't know if we're going to be able to make this work or not. Oh wow, I wonder if this just screws on. Man, wouldn't that be nice? I think that might work if I didn't booger up the threads too much. Let's get the old one and try to work on the threads a little bit. So that goes pretty easy. These are the threads that I screwed up. Let's see if we can get that up on. Alright, there's my fingers here. I'm not going to push it, so we'll try to make that work. Just for reference, this is my model. It says model B, of course 18 foot by 48 inches, FG020R0. So if you have this specific one, you can just unscrew those filters. So it looks like the first step is to put this piece on here. You squeeze these two tabs so you can slide it in here, but you got to make sure the wire is inside this slot. And it looks like that goes in until the tabs hit that hole, like so. I'm going to go back. This was actually supposed to be the first step, but you need to slide this hose on the bottom here. It's a tight fit, so you put it on as far as you can. Hopefully we don't break anything here. Okay, now the next step, we loosen this screw, and then I think we slide it on the post. Okay, that's done. Okay, next step is to put this outer bracket on. And to do that, we have to take this out all the way. Interesting. Let me do some more reading to see whether this part comes out or not. Yes, that would be correct. For our style of pool, which is over here, the round top, that piece has to come out. Slides right out. And this one slides in. And you can see it's adjustable there. So we'll put the screws back. Now I'll put the filter back on since I didn't tighten that the first time like I was supposed to. So obviously this is your tightening knob and also the adjustment. So let's tighten that. Okay, we'll see if I can capture this without getting in the way of the camera. We're going to put it over the side of the pool now and hook the hose up to the intake. Screws here to pull this out a little. Hopefully. So it's a little short on the outside, so I'm going to put a block of wood here and then I'll come back and show that to you. So it looks like that's it, except for adjusting this. The screw on the side I'm loosening, so I can pull this up a little bit. My pull is a little bit on the high side, so I'm going to pull this whole bracket out. Here it'll tell me how to adjust that. But let me get this tightened up. I think I'm going to put a block of wood under here. Looks like it definitely needs some fine tuning, but that should be the general idea. See if I can get that hose on. Of course, gonna have to work on that bracket some more. The issue I'm having now is there's an O-ring on this intake. Going on, so I'm going to take this off, take the O-ring off, and then try to put the hose on. I hope I don't regret unscrewing this, and I can screw it back on. Here's the O-ring I'm going to take off. We'll save that for later. So the issue I'm having here is my pool is really high in water right now, so I need to raise this up a little bit higher than this, and then I need some more spacing here. So I'm going to go get some blocks of wood and work on that now. Okay, we'll turn it on and see what happens here. I think it needs some. Okay, here's a close-up. You can see from this side there's stuff coming in and then staying in here. So it's working pretty good. We'll see if it brings this pine straw in. Hopefully over here. Alright. Probably work a little better if I would close off that second inlet right here. But we'll run it this way for a while first. So summarize, pretty simple install. The biggest thing would be this intake hose here. If you have a pool like mine, make sure you unscrew that instead of try to pry it off. And then, you know, obviously the adjustment here, it's not enough adjustment for this particular pool with this particular water level. So I'm going to come up with my own blocks of wood and shims and stuff, and we'll fine tune that, get that more permanent. I guess you can, I don't know if you can see it, but the temperature says 78.5, and that's coming from this probe right here. So I guess that's going to be a wrap for this project. So I was telling you earlier that I have two intakes, one that we hooked up the skimmer to, and then this is my other one. This time I actually unscrewed the cap, took it off. I think temporarily, once this dries out, I'm going to put some duct tape over these holes, put it back on, and test the skimmer and see if it has a lot better function. So I decided to check this skimmer after an hour or two, and here's what it looks like. So it's picking up some crud in there. So now we'll put our tape on the other part and see if that improves the water flow. So I'm going to tape this up a little bit and then see what kind of difference that makes. Okay, I'm going to see if I can hold the camera here without dropping it in the pool, and we'll put the cover on this outlet and see how it changes. Yeah, I can see a little more water going in, so I think this will be a big help. Let it run and see how much it captures this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. My next video will be working on a sprinkler for my compost pile and also a vibration I have in my riding mower. Stay tuned for some bonus footage here at the end. So the next project is I want to put a adapter on the end of this tubing, which actually runs out to my compost pile, so I can connect it easily to my pump. So this is where the pump will sit. So we want the outlet. So here's the outlet. I'm going to say about halfway from this point to this point. Cut that off and put this adapter on. So I really don't have a tubing cutter, so I'll do the best I can with a Sawzall here. Of course, looks like the battery's dead. Let me go get another battery while I put this on the charger. Okay, let's try that again with a fresh battery. Okay, let's go see if I can get some heat to try to soften that plastic up a little bit. Get a couple zip ties and anchor that down a little better. So next project here, my wife wants to cut down some of these lower branches because she works in here a lot with landscaping. So I'm going to use this Works pole saw here so I don't have to crawl underneath. See how far I can reach from standing out here. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to be easier to go in there without the pole.
Did you pop the chain?
This pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My next videos, I'll be making a watering tube for my compost pile. We'll look at a riding mower deck vibration, put a new clutch in our washing machine, and look at some heavy rain going through my drainage ditches and drainage pipes.